Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. Right now, raid week is coming upon us. Should be next week when the raids start on Monday. And it is obviously going to be quite an interesting time for the community because I do believe quite a few teams will actually decide to try this out. And it is quite exciting. Obviously some improved rewards as well. As we can see for the exploration of the map, we're going to get some extra tier 6 CC, and there's going to be some other better rank rewards and better rewards that we're going to be able to earn from top zone bonuses, as well as some, those crystals where we can get something nice. So it will definitely be interesting to go in the raids for the very first time. I'll definitely, cover it in a video as well, how I do in these raids. Could be like a daily video because we're going to have to space these fights out, which is something that I'm not too fond of. We're basically getting 2 revives a day that we kind of have to use because they do have no overflow. We cannot save them up and then do it later. So it's going to require logging in every single one of the 7 days, which again does not sound too great. But, such is what Kabam decided with it. However, thanks to Yusafa, and shout out to him. I'm sure most of you have heard about Yusafa by now, definitely. He also has a YouTube channel where he posts some monster openings. I will leave a link to his raids stream from the CCP beta, which also kind of gave us a glimpse of what we're going to be going up against. And definitely what we saw from the Kabam stream itself was by far the easiest bit of it, if we can talk about that. Because yeah, the Kang fight, it's going to be pesky, it's going to be grindy, it's going to be annoying, but it in itself didn't seem too bad. The Maestro and Thanos fights definitely seem a bit worse. I believe he said that they didn't get the full 10% health damage a single time against this Maestro, and we're going to be able to kind of see why, right? So, this is Yusafa playing it on the beta servers. So that was like, a fine, kind of casual blocked hit there. Because we can see that Maestro still only has 2 Furies. This is not the Maestro that we are playing with in the game. This is a Maestro that is from Labyrinth of Legends, kind of like the old version of Maestro, I believe. And yeah, it is going to be quite fun because obviously there are the Pierces coming. But he's also gaining more and more Furies, which ultimately as a combination will end up being something in the lines of take a block hit and you're screwed. So here that was a resisted heavy, that's fine. I think we need to roll on a bit further. Obviously this Maestro, now it's going to be better. So he's at 4% health and Yusafa here enters at pretty much full health. Takes 3 blocked hits, a third of his life's gone. And at some point I think you're going to see, because now this was with no Pierce effects active. Now 1 Pierce effect active. And yikes. So this is going to be one of those fights that's obviously quite pesky to finish for sure. It's like, how many blocked hits was it there in the end? So if we take a look at here, rewind a bit here, I think it's going to be fine. And keep in mind that initial was when he still hadn't gotten any of his pierces up. Now he's going to get his first pierce in a second. So this block damage would still be manageable with those massive Furies that Maestro has gotten. Now 1 pierce. Boom! That's like quarter of a health gone. This does sound a bit dodgy. This does sound a bit rough, I'm not gonna lie. And then there's obviously the Thanos, where you do need to be able to kind of like intercept on command and execute whatever other mechanics Thanos demands of you. So if we're gonna forward it a bit further, we can see the Thanos fight. And that seemingly will not be too easy either. So you kind of have to, like here as well, you're going to have to take a hit in a block in order to do the mission. And we're going to see that blocked hit in just a second. So it doesn't take a hit in a block yet. I think he didn't quite understood the icon the first time around, so he's trying to check which one was it. We're going to see that block damage there as well. So we can see again 1 pierce on the Thanos. So he's not doing much damage in this fight because he's like the first one to fight it. So that's, fine. We're not necessarily looking at the amount of damage that he has managed to do himself. So he needs to take a hit in a block at some point there. So let's see which hit he chooses to take in block. But at this point, Okay, so that wasn't too bad. But keep in mind that these kind of like roll in a random order, and now it's already wrong. So you have the intercept, and then you have a hit in a block and something else in the Thanos mission. And yeah. Okay, so he needs to get another intercept to get his charges, to get his damage up. There's gonna be like a massive blocked hit in a moment. If I remember correctly. Still needs to take a hit and a block to do the mission. On the stream, he talks about how he didn't necessarily understood what was the thing required of him, because this is his first time fighting the guy. Here we go. That's a nice hit on the block from the level 1, and then obviously, a couple hits to completely pretty much erase him. And keep in mind, these are guys playing with 7-star rank 2s, pretty much. Yusafu has quite literally the biggest roster in the game, so he can select which champions he needs, and he will have those champions at a high rank, which is something not the rest of us will be able to say. Because we can take a look already at which champions have these tags. So if you go to the champions roster in our game, we can filter out by tags. Then we can take a look at AW Raid's Assault, for instance. And here we can see that, okay, fair enough, here I have like Domino, Massacre, Nick Fury, Storm, Rintra. At least I have a handful of champions ranked up. And, hopefully one of these champions is going to be good for it. As an assault, but it is going to be something for you to keep in mind, because you will not be able to use like all the roster. There's going to be like fairly specific set of champions that you can use. So if I'm going to filter out my 6 stars only, just kind of like make a point. So also to make, well, this one's fine-ish too. I think the Vanguard one, was it fine? Yeah, Vanguard one I'm kind of struggling with. They only have 2 champions ranked up as like 7-star rank 2, and Cassie Lang is rank 5. So Vanguard is definitely not quite suitable for me in my roster, but we take a look at 6 stars and add the tags. So with Assault tag, there's not too many champions, is there? That is exactly 15 champions, right? And one of them's Craven, which basically means it's 14 champions. Just saying, who the hell is going to use Craven? Right, so realistically, there's going to be far less than 15 champions. So instead of Assault, we're going to take a look at Tactician. And I have a feeling all of them will be 15, but, some of these will still be quite obscure. So here we have like Spider-Man, Kushala, Hulkling, it's not too bad. And then Vanguard. And 15 champions again. So out of all of the 250 some champions, realistically 45 are selected that can enter raid. Obviously not all of them are great. Like again, who is gonna go in with OG Spider-Man or Civil Warrior or something like that? Who wants to bring War Machine? Man, it's going to be interesting. The closer this raid week comes, the more worried, I guess you can be the word. And again, to be clear, I want raids to be successful. I, want them to feel like an organic, nice, natural part of the game, an AQ week that we look forward to, ideally. But so far, by the looks of it, Kebab is doing a lot of the things to the opposite of the effect. Like the fact that we need to stretch it out for 7 days if we want to have a remote chance of being able to do it without paying up with a ton of units. Because if we want to clear more on any given single day, that automatically costs units. Because even if we play perfectly, we can't do more than 10% of damage to a boss in one go. So that means, we're going to take like 2 days to kill one boss, another 2 days or 3 days to kill another boss, and then another 2 or 3 days to kill the final boss, and that will have to be stretched. And so, in basically, all that automatically presents like a nightmare logistically. And the entire point of all the changes to AQ had been kind of like, let's remove the links, let's make sure that, you can log in and you can customize the AQ week to when it's more convenient to you. With Raid Week, all of that goes out the window, just because we have to log in every single day unless we have to pay up. And the entire point of making this whole big change to AQ seems to be undermined with raids. The entire point of making changes to the maps, where we do not have to kind of like wait for links to go down, we can just go to our path and clear our paths, that seems to have gone out of the window with it. So again, I want raids to be good, and I want to have fun in the raids, and I want the rewards to feel meaningful, which they don't in particular, but we'll see, maybe they are better than they appear. But with the structure of raids to begin with, it feels like Kabam has taken 3 steps back of solving our issues with the AQ. Because like over the years, Kabam has, let's face it, made incremental changes and improvements to Alliance Quest. Now we can select which days we play. It's 4 days instead of 5 days. And we don't have to play every single day or on a random schedule when we, have prior engagements in our real lives. That's gone out of the window. This idea that when we log in, we do our part, we don't have to wait if somebody's like missing or late. That's gone out of the window. Even, these kind of energy refills, all of those have made AQ more tolerable. If you forget, you can just jump in, and then you can definitely rush through it quickly. You can't do that in raids. I don't know, man. I don't know. I hope they're nice. I hope they're good. I hope they're worth it. But it really seems like a huge, huge hassle more than something enjoyable, I'd say. Let me know what you guys think. But it did look quite rough. See you soon, guys. Bye-bye. Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about